to help to meet the difficulties that you've been facing so far. Another country, if you don't have any country, let's move to the panelists. So South Tome has not spoken. Let's give him the floor. Yeah, I want to speak French. So thank you. It's not to move in principle. We have a six readiness in the domain of energy. NAP plan, national plan of adaptation, energy, and the other is the domain of economy, bioeconomy, and the other one we have a national committee of climate change funded on the basis of a decree in 2012. At that time, we need to update and to be able to adapt to the requirements of GCF. We have a lot of challenges regarding the characteristics of the country. It's a small country, an island, so I think this is what I can share with you. Thank you. Thank you, Satomi. Guinea, I think you've spoken already. I want to add something specific. You have 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. No, he has not spoken. So I wanted to share with you the experience that you have at the level of Equatorial Guinea. On the readiness that we have many readiness. We can have 9 readiness, but I will speak about the key one. We got the support of EFDD to accompany us, to give us support on the drafting of the concept notes. We got the support, financial support, to train 60 experts at the national level and 10 experts at the national level, regional level. So readiness at the level of the GF, okay, of OGF, which funded a project on the biodiversity at the level of the country, and this project has been approved through the UNDP with a new finance, with the new strategies. We hope to get accreditation for our 2 entities. We have, for instance, in commerce, which is for the conservation of environment and nature, and another entity which is always working on the management of reserved areas, protected areas. So we expect that the new strategy will help us to get accreditation of these two entities for the country. Thank you. Thank you for the experience. I think maybe when we take too many, we have more difficulties. So maybe you should see with other windows regarding the PSA. Maybe tomorrow or Sunday I'll come back to that to see, instead of putting the 2 entities in the accreditation, why not see this window as well?
Actually, my concern is with the multiple readiness that we have and with the 23 country. So I would like to know if the 23 country, they have completed the full engagement. In case of Angola, we have completed like 2 workshops, and we'll be conducting our last workshop in January. So it's just the kind of check with other country where they are. at this point, because I believe it's really important for us also to focus on that, because that's what brought all of us together. Thank you.
D'accord.
Difficulties that you've gone through. What are your impressions? You are here, you are some of the countries that are the lead of the other countries. So what are the perspectives? I will say the perspectives are more important. That's what we are interested in. So based on the past, to be able to build regarding the new strategies. So what are your perceptions and the approach that you think can adopt to be able to meet the difficulties of the new strategy? Okay, the floor is open to everyone. Yeah, Professor, thank you very much. I just want to tell my sister Alex that regarding the initiatives of the 23 countries, GRC has planned the last workshop in January. It was planned on the 18th of this month, but it has been postponed to January. So to come back to the discussion, I think that the difficulties that we face are practically the same, but with some different level of variability differences. So if the objective is to accreditate an entity for direct access, I think I can give an observation in terms of conclusion of what I have here. I was saying that when you want to appoint or engage an organization, we need also to see the level of tasks of this organization. I'm saying this from experience. So if you are lacking in the terms of accreditation, it's also connected to this. The entity that we chose to give that accreditation is an entity that is much engaged in other projects. Namely, we have local development projects, which is chaired by the presidency of the Republic. The entity that we positioned there being engaged in these programs. So our observation is that the entity apparently gives more importance to that other job than the accreditation. And we also observe that things are very much centralized. And I think in the experience that we should have by now is to ensure that the entity that we select should have a team, specific team to work on the missions in terms of the accreditation. Because according to me, the reason that justify the delay of application is one of them that I just spoke about. So before the G is taken, you should see the level of concentration of power at the beginning to speak with the entity that you want to propose to clear this at the beginning. So this is a special team in charge of this issue of accreditation. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Yes, so Alex states that Sierra Leone will be having their last meeting on the 17th of this December for the EY project. So during from yesterday to today, the discussion around ownership has been topical around our discussions. So I shared our experience, our perspective, one way to ensure that you take ownership. You take, now that most countries have not got an accredited, national accredited institute, what we've been doing is to make sure we take our idea to the identify accredited entity. And when consultants are hired, we make sure that we are part of the development of the proposal. And in doing so, what we try to also incorporate into the development is to make sure that one or two institutions who have stake in the particular idea or proposal we slot into activities that they will be able to implement. By doing so, they take ownership. So no one is left behind. I don't want to share that maybe so that I'll help to share and other countries try to incorporate that into their processes at national level, and I'm quite sure that will be helpful. That's what we've been doing, and I think it's necessary that I share it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred. Guita?
Very quick, very quick. What Professor has said is very important because at the level of Mali, since 2019, we appointed entities, but up to now, they have not been able to be accredited because these are not generally they are the friends of the Minister of Environment or other things, and this is not good. We really need to go on the essential points and to see whether the entities that we are going to appoint have the necessary capacities and its scope of application and all this. And if it is accredited, then it will really go far with us and serve the interest of the state and not the interest of one person. Second thing, in terms of difficulties for our case as GP, and maybe the case of many other countries, is a process of markets of the state to have an eye on the resources that get into the states. They ask that the procedures, national procedures of the state to be applied to every entity. So once we sign a PCA and 15 days, you have the resources to start the program of readiness. But in the service, you need to organize the internal offer of markets. So you see all the period time that it will take. Money is available, but we cannot have access to it and use it. So it is also some issues that I should want to share with the participants. Thank you, but on this issue, I can say that with the experience that all the GPs, it is general. The question of markets, the only answer is to anticipate. Once you have the approval of your projects, you can start the procedure of the markets. So you have all the process being done before, and that helps you to gain in time, and this helps you to see the procedures so that you have some decentralization of power. Mrs. Mary, do you have anything to add? Thank you. I just want to say that in the process of appointments of entities, I think that we should also consider the will of the entity, because at times people think that I'm going to be accredited, I will get money, I will manage, I'll handle. They don't know the work that is behind. So this entity should have the strong will to go with you, to work with you in such a way that the task will be quite, as many have said it, to have a committed team. The committed team to the work task of accreditation, the task connected to the accredited entity, and also the team in charge of the drafting of the project, so that the NGAs or the project carriers should work fast, so that things will not delay, slow down, and they should go with the progress very fast.
Thank you, facilitator. Maybe just to start with the EY project. For us, we had our last workshop last week. So the project is officially closed for us. In terms of maybe what has come up from the floor is just that I have noted that most of the challenges that we have, they are quite common and they are mostly internal challenges that we need to work on as institutions so that we can be able to enable ourselves to access more funds. They are not mostly challenges that are external from the fund, for instance, but mostly it's in terms of our own coordination and our own institutional arrangements, which is very key for the success of this readiness process. Maybe just to highlight a bit on the accreditation, we are also in the process of accrediting 2 local institutions. Maybe I can just point out that it is key to nominate institutions which are already working on the ground. In our case, we have the Environment Authority, which is linked to the Environment Fund. They are already dispersing grants to communities to implement environmental projects such as wetland protection. We also have the Eswatini Bank, which issues out loans in the agriculture sector. So these institutions, they are already involved in projects, in managing funds. So this readiness that we are implementing now seeks to strengthen them in terms of the GCF fiduciary standards and also the environmental and social safeguards. Maybe that's just what I can highlight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Je pense que nous avions fait un peu le.
I think that we've done the roundtable. Before closing the session with your permission, I want have to give a chance to deal with the statistic. If you allow, we can share the statistic with the participants for closing the session. If the document satisfies the body, and just to review and change the statistic that I would like to share with you.
Décidément,
Technical side isn't ready. What I would like to share with you is a little bit of the performance in terms of utilization. So, the readiness to resources. That is, we had the 3 points that will draw our attention. First, we need to do an introduction. After that, we have a zoom on the 20 countries that platform in the readiness mobilization. During 2023. And after that, we're going to share with you the portfolio of revenues of 2023 that is in progress. And finally, the performances regarding different elements of the revenues program. Talking about introduction, that at this level, you notice the new strategy that we put in place, which is very important. This new strategy that has been adopted and defined the different processes, document that are going to put an organization of in the coming 2 years. And so, at this level, the priority was also the ownership, at the way that, as my colleague, our colleague said, national ownership was mainly emphasized. So, we have some because
just to remind that the statistic that I'm going to share with you start in that on the next slide, please. These are the statistics that you can see here. Classification of countries in terms of worldwide. You can see that in those countries, the first 20 countries that had a good statistic in this mobilization, African country initially, which comes to the second position. So you see the statistic below. So we take the first one that was and come to the first of African level, which is illustrating that has been played around 6.8 slide. When you have regarding in terms of mobilization statistic, when you come to African countries, you will notice that people are taking in the first 20 countries worldwide, the charity is the 10th. So one of the is the one that is coming first. In first position, followed by Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, Sao Tome, Guinea, Ghana, and Ghana, Burkina Faso. That are the 10th position. So these are the first things that we extracted from the statistic. What is the most interesting is that are starting to develop. Talking about the South Africa, the Central Africa, Cape Verde, Congo, and Gabon, the countries that are the countries when we talk about the classification. In this slide, what you can talk about set at the readiness that when that we can have 2047 in 50 countries, the value of the money to represent a portion of volume in terms of amount is 8%. 30 kilogram is not that bad, but we can do better. For the same period, these are just engagement. Allocated to revenues, 1.1% of revenues, approved revenues. When you take this figure, this chart, it gives that related to revenues that are completed, they are not disbursed, even included revenues that be stopped, that stopped. So this gives an aspect of a tendency, a trend that we can see for the first one, first that were stopped, were completed. Yeah, that were completed. the last one, the project was stopped. So that when it's like when you take the project that were completed, the following, is completed. And then not disbursed, it is around $190. Talking more specifically about that, think that it was mobilized up to 18 years, which represents 43% of amount approved to over 38 countries. Now 55% of the remaining represent a little bit 118 years. That as yet at the level of the 54%. We also need to keep growing in general. The Green Fund continues to support countries, in general countries, especially the less developed countries. If we come to the classification of countries, of those 54 countries, the revenues 43 were classified as the less developed countries. Those countries in general received got up to 42 million, equivalent to 70% of the amount approved annually. Presented when we talk about the countries, less developed countries, as you can see that we have 68% and a total of 207. Because this goes beyond the 50%, we got close to the countries of the less developed countries and islands. We want to talk a little bit about statistics in terms of GDP. What are the first five countries that were really supported in the countries in the organization? We can talk about UNEP, UNGP, FAO, BPI. I'm going to ask the question to our colleagues from FASO to tell a little bit about what that we have the partnership of this year. It is to go in that way. We also have NG, not with an amount of $29 million, which represent 440 million. You can see that over 147 billion we have 37 million that have been allocated to countries, and then the 34 million to represent 45 million. That is from the statistic of start of 2023. At this level, we observe that we have 88 economies represent $52 million countries, five multi-countries project. So GP, some direct access entities at the level of the region that support the five revenues approved revenues. Six, I'm sorry, that were in those multiple countries. In 2023. In January, what we need to become in the level of 2013 was $13.5 million that were disbursed, which represent 25% of the disbursement percentage. Correct. After this summary of the financial year of 2023, the state of the revenues of 2015 to 2024, I'm going to describe in terms of results of the climate fund. Here we have some indicators. Reported at the revenues program. Talking about that for sharing, we have 13 of the project development about 26. First strategies in capacity building for a coordination of the NDAs, we have 42. On this level, we have a certain first. When we take the beginning of a result, that is part of capacity building, that will increase the indicators of the level of the capacity building and the staff of MTAs. We also have a capacity building link with access, direct access entities. So accreditation, also the capacity building, the direct access entities and so. This concerns the strategic document program that we can develop or advocate. Can also be the NDC that we can update or revise. I think that's from 2025. When we are document that we are going to proceed. I think that there are some countries that are going to this for the private sector engagement, the TNA, that an evaluation of the technologies. Looking at indicating indicators of objective 3, it concerns the planification of adaptation. We have naturally the planning, we already have the time we already do the post-planning process. Some other strategies we can use that on the national level that we can use. But also the questions of vulnerabilities and climate risk that we can observe at least. What's new is the elaboration of the prospect of the project portfolio. Some support can also be the people that you all know, or the assessment of communication. And the last objective activities that are becoming indicators that are in terms of results, it is the sharing of knowledge on the platforms that are sharing. Which objective in terms of intervention of performance, you see how in Africa how it has been done. It means that we have 16 projects that were accredited that are to support the direct access entities. And also on this level, when you take the objective 2, which concerns the strategic taste, you take the there. At this level, you can see that you can see the engagement of the collaboration of the strategic plan of private sector strategic. Despite this effort, we notice that it's still shy at the sector, private sector level. We can think and see other ways in order to improve this private sector. It is well that the private sector still remains shy and low in the process. Objective 2, there we can also when we take the workers, those were to review and 32 projects for the failure of the vulnerabilities. 4 of developing on the update of maps. About project 4, it contains the development of the project portfolio. What's here natural aspect is that work. Continuing when is mobilized to do those exercises. It's reliable, suggested. It wasn't as we expected. After the follows, we have this program by meant for value for the assessment of potential for PPF and also for which is part of talking about so I said in the definition, we have 2 indicators at this level. Whether countries we need to have to share a little community in terms of finance and not to have exchange platforms. That's got a process of sharing experience we have vaccine. Else we can say in general, like activities that encourage not during the period the capacity for strategic frameworks and also the support to the direct access. These are the statistics by one in terms of domain activities. What comes to the we see that it is the elaboration of the strategic frameworks that come first in terms of adaptation. Very approved revenues with 26 million that were allocated, followed by 65% for other activities to readiness. And you can see $31 million total. When it comes to the bank is the enforcement of the energy capacities, 49%, equivalent to 77 approved readiness in the 54 countries. When it will be both statistics, we see that not at this level, we had a lot of projects submitted, but 52 million. 62, 77 really submitted at this level. So this is how in terms of performance of countries for the period to 2015 to March 2024. This is what I'm going to share with you. If you have questions, we can ask, we can answer.
Donc, s'il y a des questions, on peut juste prendre deux ou bien une question, sinon on clôture la session. Vous avez votre micro.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. So. Thank you. I was just joking. In the minutes, I will finish. You spoke about the performance of those who are sitting there for the performance of their countries. What you, as an expert, what do you plan for those who are lagging behind regarding the progress? It's possible that we are not well informed. You take Togo, for instance, who have done a lot, Swatini, who has done a lot, Swatini. What is your engagement at the level of the others that are lagging behind to encourage them to also move forward? Other reactions? Okay, thank you for the question. I think that that was the objective of these sessions, not only the matter of one aspect, is our business, or that's why we are sharing this experience. You put them forward so they can share with you their experience, their knowledge, their know-how, how to be able to perform well. So it's not a matter of one aspect, it concerns us all. Now, they said, okay, plenty of things. What I keep in mind from their experience is, first of all, the organization. Okay, it's a matter of institution. In terms of institutions, you have to be well organized so that everybody will be involved, engaged, so that they can play the role that is theirs. The implication of all actors, stakeholders, the question of mobilization of finance is not a matter of NGS, but the matter of all the country, the ownership. I got that from their intervention. I also understood that the question of the entity, of the choice of the entity has to have a prerequisite, because it's the entity that will accompany. You need to have a prerequisite before you can appoint it. If you appoint it without having all the prerequisites, then it will be turning around. So you should also expect the needs that is done at the level of the nation. It's the expression of the needs will not be done at the level of the NGA alone. No, it is with the implication of the role of the stakeholders, and this helps everyone to define the role of all stakeholders to be able to play efficiently the role. That may be politics, maybe technicians, maybe GPs that's supposed to accompany the delivery partners. When the expression of the needs are clear, all will assign the role to everyone. And if with a deadline, a timeline well precise, the time you need to be accountable, everybody will say that we express our needs, and others have done it through what they call country programs, but others didn't do it. They just put something down. So it is through the meetings at the national level, which involve all the stakeholders, that this could be done very well. So the expression of the needs to be able to define the role and assign them to stakeholders, NGA, and these, even the national entities. So what you say about the international entities, they have their agenda when it comes to your country. So they have this international entities of access that they call country programs. So you have already to involve them at the beginning, so that they will put you in the country program. You can do everything, but diplomatically they will find a way to. Okay, they'll say the Jews that they keep it aside, they will not move. So it is really you have to work beforehand to involve all the countries, the stakeholders. So that's what I want to say. Thank you. I've got two things that you said: the organization and the prerequisites. I'll take the example of Chad, who appointed two entities for accreditation. The National Fund, which is preparing a multi-country project. And the second appointed is ADES. ADES is sub-regional. It intervenes in Niger. It intervenes also in the RGC, in the GRC. It intervenes in Cameroon. It also intervenes in Equatorial Guinea. ADES is also in Central Africa. I think he has a lot of experience in the harmonization in water fund is there. It's an example. But others today is beyond our borders. It's beyond our borders. So up to now, we have not yet got the accreditation. And when you exchange with the GSF, they said, you are well organized. Okay, but we are not moving. Okay, since 3 years now, for 3 years now, we are not moving. So, and this is frustration. Okay, understood. I think that this is noted regarding Chad, who have taken the advantage to share the experience and the difficulties they have for the accreditation and the performance of their entity that is appointed. On this point, if there's nothing to add, I think Kabishi, I can only thank the panelists. And to do this, you know how we can thank those who share their experience with us. Let's put our hands together for them to thank them. Thank you, Eswatini. Thank you, Sierra Leone. Thank you, DRC, Mali, and Togo. Okay, then I'm giving you back the microphone. Thank you, Mr. Grignan. You've done a wonderful job, and particularly in a very wonderful way, you treated a great problem, big problem. I like the statistics that you shared with us. These statistics are referring to the past generation of readiness that is stopping with 2024. And it's also very important to keep this in mind and to understand what in these statistics justify the revision and the change of cap that the GCF is bringing in. This will help us to better have access to resources in the second version that will come. You see, for instance, the fact that there's this proportion of countries who have made proposals of readiness that have been approved, in which you have components for the development of projects. But we had only 39, no, Mr. Guignan, but you had only 4 countries that have found got come for projects. So if you look at that, you see that it's a low, heavy waste of resource. What happens? Or is it that you made all these investments? Is it that the investments have been not well done? Okay, and we got so little results. And also, when you look at the amount that have been approved, the number of projects approved, and the proportions of those that came to an end, to a completion. Okay, when you talk about the completed projects, it's not even the half. It's not half of all this readiness program that have been completed. So this means that these are resources made available. Now we've not seen the end results. The end results after all these years of investments. Something else that also gives is a food of thought for thought is to see the proportion of proposals that contain, and that's normal, these components of capacity building of the NGAs. And the readiness is that, okay, let's encourage to have proposals where you can get into other things. You know, you want to see results. Okay, you want the NGA to be well informed trends, and you want to see results, and particularly we want to all this to take out to projects. So these are some of the reflections that we should have regarding the statistics that have been shared with us. And this has pushed this year to carry out reforms and to bring in a new version. And from this, you can accelerate the process, even when the precision you bring in complexity is a idea behind the reforms that are being brought. So I like that part of the statistics that were shared. Also in the interventions, I like the examples, the less good examples and less successful examples. In the case of Mali, in 2 years, they have got the tradition. That is something very wonderful. So I don't think Mr. Guetta, I'm not sure Jesus proved at the fund of adaptation. So that means they didn't able to get the accelerated procedure. So these are people left who started from zero, and in 2 years have got the authorization. That is almost like what was done at the beginning of the GCF. It's a very nice example to follow. Oh, yeah, I like that. Maybe tomorrow we'll discuss with our colleague of Chad. I know that Chad had this case because I was a member of some discussions with the minister in charge at that time on the choice of the water funds, and now the question of others. So when you're talking about the accreditation tomorrow, this will come back. It's very important. But today it was a wonderful topic of discussion. And once again, I want to thank you for having suffered and the electrical problems that we had, the heat and so on, but to have been with us up to the end. We appreciate this enormously. And tomorrow we're going to start with the part that you have not been able to do today, which is this approach of accreditation by specific projects. you cross-check for the presentation of the secretariat. You'll do that probably tomorrow. And you also have this consideration on the programs, country programs and strategies at the regional levels, on which our friend Kofi and Idris will make presentation communication. So for today, I would like to thank you once again. We're going to stop here. Congratulations to you all to have suffered on all this. And I want to ask you not to go very far because it's possible that you have a surprise. The surprise of Sandra, we are waiting. Let's go a little bit out. So if you want to change your clothes and you come back, but do it very fast so that we can see the surprise that is being prepared for us. You don't need to sleep, Dr. Kamai. 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep is enough for you. So thank you so much. Thank you once again. I know that today it was very tough, but we appreciated your efforts. Thank you so much. So the NGOs that are with us on the panel, we want to thank you. You say, how should we get dressed? How should we get dressed? How should we get dressed to come to the meeting? We are not going to wear. It's just casual meeting, not casual meeting. We are not going to wear the swimming gun.
So thank you very much, and then relaxation for the rest of the day. And tomorrow we start 9 o'clock, between 9 and 9:30, like this morning. That's a coffee and networking, and then after that we get started. Thank you so much.